Hey folks, Flight Sim Dev here. Today we're going to talk about ScenProc. I had a few people contact me recently saying, can you do a tutorial about ScenProc? Well, I'm not really one that does tutorials, but I can tell you how I get mine going. So I'll just run it down here and open it up, and you're pretty much confronted with nothing. Yeah, okay, that's all right. It's just asking where's Flight Sim X, where's Prepared 3D. I haven't got these installed because I'm running Flight Sim 2020 these days. So yeah, we're not going to worry about this so much. I'll save that. I'll just cancel this. I don't know if it's actually going to run. Probably won't run without those settings. Yeah, I know. Flight Sim X, where's my Flight Sim X? Okay. Anyway, as I say, I'm running Flight Sim 2020 these days. The Steam edition, so I don't have Flight Sim X or Prepared 3D installed, but I can show you how this works. Now, generally, unless you know how to write scripts, and I don't, you just basically download your scripts. If you open up a program like, let's open up this program, this will probably work, this will probably fail as well, because I haven't used these programs since I uninstalled Flight Sim X and Prepared 3D, because I had to make space on the hard drive, because, well, it takes up nearly 200 gigabytes. 200 gigabytes. It's a bit of a shock downloading it in Steam, because it came in, took 12 hours to download Flight Sim 2020. Anyway, you need a program like this one called Auto for XP. Now, this is probably the best way you're going to get OpenStreetMap data that you're going to use inside of ScenProc to produce the autogen that you need. So in here, don't worry about this first screen. This first screen it's all about the surrounding area. Just open up your globe here, and say you want to pick this area here. Hold the shift key, left click, and you've got that selected. You select the top four and the last one. Don't hit run yet. We haven't finished it yet. Now, if you wanted just the airport, you go into this one here. Initially, I just use either Bing, Arc, or Google. Let's use Google here. Go to zoom level 13, that's the best you can do. Open up this, and then you get a map of what it's going to look like. And you can see in Google it doesn't look the best, but we're not really worried about that. Let's go to the airport. Say you want to get an airport like Amberley. Well, you would get the highest resolution you can. If you're going to work with Google, you've got Arc, you've got Bing, Ebox 2, that's all pretty much Europe. Then you've got Europe. I've got one called Mapbox because I've got a registration with Mapbox, so I can download Mapbox. Yours may not work, mine does. If you want Zoom 18, it's just holding down basically your left control and clicking the squares that you want. These will be each one image. So if you want a large area, you would do something like this in Zoom level 18, which is, if you use SBuilderX, most people use SBuilderX, or they use FS Earth Tiles, that will turn out around LOD 17, roughly LOD 18. It's not quite exactly the same. So I generally get an area like that. You might not need these ones here, so you just hold the control and use the right mouse click and get rid of it, and you just get something like that. Now I'm going to get that for now. I'm going to save that zone, and I'm going to apply and exit. Right now, this program, I only want it to download the information that I need for the autogen, because I'm not interested in doing the photoreal here. But you can select it. You'll get high resolution photoreal. This area here, this is for the surrounding area. So if you go back, if you just go down here to the map, this is the whole area that you're going to get. And Amberley might be Amberley's just 16 of these little squares. You can't really zoom into this. I could probably do a print screen and then zoom that way, but the whole area here around what you selected in this window is what's controlled here. We're not interested in that. So select whatever you want in here. Google's good enough, and select the lowest, because you're not worried about the surrounding. You're only worried about the autogen for the area that you're doing. Once you're happy with that, go into settings. I've got this set differently. You can pause. You can pause the video. You can select any of these windows, by the way. I'll just leave that open for a short time. You can just pause the video now. I'll shut up for a second, and then you can just, you know, copy those numbers if you want to copy those numbers. Okay, once you've done that, don't hit right to config, just hit apply and exit, and then now you've got that selected. Now you can batch build. Now the first thing it will download is the OSM data, and that's the data we're going to be using for ScenProc. So I'll let this go. I'll just minimize in the background. That's the best program to use. Don't close this DOS box either. That's the best program to use to get this. Once you've got this, you need a script. Now I'll leave some links down below where you can get Auto for XP, the direct link, and also for a couple of scripts that I've got. I'll stick them on my OneDrive and you'll be able to download them pretty quick. Now I've got various ones here. You can see I've got shape files here. I've got zoom level 15 here, and there's narrow zoom level. These are just various ones that I use for various areas. That's all in ScenProc. And then I've got my where are documents. I've got, I thought I had some in there. I don't. So I'll go to my games drive. It's not flight sim stuff. It's other. It'll be in other. It'll be also for XP, and then it'll be in here. It's somewhere got where is it? Not my scenery. There's the OSM data. That'll be where it's going. Patches. Oh, ScenProc settings. Here we go. So I've got this. So if you in a dry area, I use that one. This one is just one that I've got set from the manual that comes with ScenProc program, and then this one works great, right? So I've got a good one. So I just open that. Now you can see these links here don't work, right? It'll say the specified folder doesn't exist, but you can see it's quite involved, and I've got this setting here. Now you would set that to whatever you have. You can put it anywhere you like. So if we go down to my games drive, we go to other, we go to ortho. I've got one in here called my scenery, and then I've got Adelaide. Here's Amberley here, and these are the ones I already made for the Amberley area. And you can see if you're using 18, you'll be downloading a fair bit, right? I generally only keep the ones that are the large ones, and where it starts to go to 1 kilobyte, which is just here, I don't even keep these ones. I delete all the 1 kilobyte ones. So from there down, I would delete all of those because they would contain one house. You can open this file, but it's going to be in. Let's see if I can open it in Notepad. So you, although you can't read it, you can see it's only going to be like maybe one house, one building, maybe one shop. You know, if you're happy with that, keep it. If you don't want to, just get rid of it. Anything that's 1 kilobyte, I tend to get rid of because there are a lot of files it'll be loading. And then anything from 2 kilobytes upwards, I keep. If you're using very high resolution, you'll find some of these might get as high as 300. You want to hang on to those. Yeah, so that's downloading. Now I don't want to go past the download. Oh, that's the ScenProc. Let's go to this one. So you can see it's downloading the OSM data, and here it is downloading the data. Now from time to time, if you use very high resolution, it will be rejected by the server because the server's busy. I'm at night if there's lots of people doing it at night, and generally most people do it at night because they either work during the day or they've got school commitments or whatever. So you can see it's downloading, but it will eventually, you can see it downloaded here. It missed it 4 seconds, 16 seconds, it just adds time, and then suddenly bang, there we go. So you probably got your little spot, you know, in the queue, and it finally downloaded. So you will get this. It depends on what area you're doing. Sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't. If you're doing an area that's way out there in the middle of nowhere, and you know it's just your local airport, then you don't have to worry about this so much because it'll probably just download the data. But if you're doing something that's popular, like if you're in Australia, you're doing, in this case I'm doing Queensland, that's a very popular destination, and then you've got South Australia, Melbourne, Sydney and so forth, you know, those ones are very popular. You'll probably have some rejects, and you can see it's rejecting this one as well. So once it's finished downloading this OSM data, and you can see it starts to download either the TIFF files for your blends and so on, or the images. Once you see that happen, just go up here and just close the box. It'll just cancel it. Then you go to your folder where that's kept, wherever you've installed that program. I've got it on my games drive, which is just all about games. I've got it in this path here. I've got all the versions here. I've got a master which I just keep untouched, and then I've got one that I've added a lot of stuff to it. You don't need to install half the stuff. You don't need to install Python. You don't need to install ImageMagick. You don't need to install all of that crap. Just forget about all that. Just run it the way it is out of the box. It will work. You'll get this distribution folder, or DIST it's called, and you can see I've downloaded all the programs. I'll put a link to mine. I'll get rid of all my stuff, but I'll leave all of this here. So you'll have everything if you want to download it, but you don't need to download any of this. You don't need to ImageMagick. You don't need to download any of that, right? All of these programs here. These two are associated with the one I'm doing now, so don't worry about that just yet. So I'll compress this up and I'll put it up there. I'll give you a link down below. You can either download mine, or you can, the way I've got it set up, as you can see it's working, or you can download the one from the link to the original source, right? But this one's all been updated. So yeah, once you've got it, it'll be in this folder called OSM data. That's OpenStreetMap data, and you'll have directories made for the latitude and longitude of where you are, or the area that you are, and this is the latitude and longitude of the area that you're doing, and then you'll have your OSM data. Now this is the one I should be downloading now. I didn't check the date. Today's date's what, that 14th, so that's the top one. Yep. So it'll download the ScenProc data. If you want to use this program, you can download the images as well. It depends on what service that you use. In this case, I used Google. So this will be the information that's from Google. You can view them. You can see the files are quite large. They're 7 megabytes each, 9 megabytes for this one. You will get some that will be 280 megabytes. They may cause errors, but don't worry about the errors, because ScenProc is written for old code, and inside these programs, whoever programmed it, it could have been done by a machine, it could have been done by human, but humans make mistakes, and they probably put code in there that's more modern, because we're transitioning from old code to new code, and in about 2024, 2025, it'll all be new code. So ScenProc will probably be updated to write new code, but at the moment it's designed to do old code, and it doesn't understand new code. So sometimes you'll have a situation where you run it and it'll say invalid path in blah 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 blah, and it just means that the heading has been written in such a way that it's new machine language, not old machine language, and ScenProc can't understand it, so it spits out error. But these ones, there's a lot of information inside one of these, and it may take a while to open, and you can see the information that's in here, right? And all the headings and where it is and so forth, and you can see what it is here. Southern Downs Regional, Queensland, PMA boundaries. These are mainly boundaries for that particular area. And then if you go up a bit, and these are all the headings, right? So you've got this information is time-stamped, that you can see 2017, so it's pretty old, and if this is written in new code, ScenProc won't understand it, and it'll just spit out bad data. So for this particular block, if it does that, you won't get that information. So you won't get this name Pilton, you won't get, what is it, Ergon Energy. That particular building won't render. It'll just put any building there, right? And if you're prepared to build all these buildings, well, you can get the buildings, right? So yeah, it's just basically this is a way. It's just that is the timestamp. This tells that to go there, which tells that building to be placed here, and that's all the information is. If that's written in the wrong version, as I say, ScenProc will just spit the dummy. So you can see it's downloading it. You'll start with 0. It'll go from 0 to 00 to 03. Then it'll go 10 to 13, 20 to 20, 20 to 23, and then 30 to 33. So you'll have 12 files in here, and those are the 12 files that you'll need to use inside ScenProc. Mine may not work because I don't have, as I say, Flight Sim installed. I could probably I could probably I don't know if I've got the Steam edition installed. Let's just run Steam. I don't know if I've got the Steam edition installed. Of course, it always updates itself. Steam down here. What have we got? Have we got Flight Sim installed? Where are we? Where are you, Steam? There. Get past. See, I've got Flight Simulator here, so I can point it to the Steam edition. If that's installed still, I might have go away. I might have uninstalled that. So you can see it's still downloading, but it does eventually download successful. It's attempting to download that, so that's on a pause. So let's see if the Steam edition is installed. If so, I can point it to that. There's my directory, Steam. Where are you? Down here somewhere. That's not in order, is it? Now it's in order. Steam. What have we got? Steam apps. Steam apps. Then up here, where is it? Common and Flight. Oh, that's Flight Simulator 2020 or Microsoft. I don't have it installed, so it doesn't matter. So I can't use it. I could probably download it. It's only like 1.5 gig or something like that. Yeah, so you've got to give it a path. In here, you've got to give it a path. I suppose I can fake a path. Let's fake a path, eh? I don't know how smart the program is. Let's see if we can fake a path. Why doesn't it go in order? Look, it's put it in order. Oh no, it's in order. So Microsoft Games, have we got Microsoft Games? We don't have Microsoft Games, we don't have that. It's Microsoft Games, Microsoft Flight Simulator X. Okay, got to put a path in here. Yeah, continue. Microsoft Games. Oops, Games. Sorry about this if I get louder. Microsoft Games. Where did I put it? There. And then new folder. Yes, continue. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oops. Simulator 10. Zex. Right. And then we got that. And then in here we just put scenery. Oh no, we've got to put add-on scenery. Okay, we'll do that later. See if I can cheat. Oops. Texture. New folder. And then add-on scenery. Add-on scenery. Right, I don't know if that'll work. Let's see what happens. Yep. Move those. Yep. Right, now I'm just going to do a new folder, but I'm going to cheat now. fsx.exe. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, that'll work. It's a folder, but it's an exe file. So I'm hoping that'll work for this program, just to shut it up. Wrong one, Model Converter X. that one there, it's asking for this, Flight Simulator X. Right, that one there, go down the games list, where are we? C drive, program files, Microsoft Games. I'm hoping this will work. Bang, bang. No, it probably didn't work. It's worth a try. And I untick that. Save. Well, that worked. Anyway, see, it opened up the file. Right, so that's fine. So if you want to, you can just copy and paste this across. Or just open it again. So I'll just copy and paste it. It's probably easy because it opened up the main one. That's it. Come on, paste. You can do it. Didn't paste. Okay. This one works great. Open. Right. We just give it a path. How are we going with this? That one there. Is it finished yet? No, it's still rejecting it. Okay, go back to this one. Okay, so the path we have to change. Okay, Amberley, because that will exist. There we go. The folder doesn't exist now. The one it's talking about is the path to Ortho for XP. So you've got to give it the path, which will be OSM data. It'll be whatever the latitude and longitude you've got, and that's the path, right? So you copy this just copy the title there, copy this to ScenProc, go all the way to the top, and you can see in my case it's G, it might be different on yours, ScenProc data, so you hit paste on there and get rid of the, if you've got, well in the case of mine it'll have 2 lines, but I'll leave it in there so you can see what it looks like that, and you can see all the fault messages, they're all gone now. So that's in there because there are OSM data in there, and the path is there for Ambly, because when it finishes compiling, what's Steam asking? Updates. Yeah, restart Steam. When it asks for this path, the path must exist before you put it in here. You can't just put a path in here and expect this program to write it. It's not smart enough to do that. Go away, and then that path will be the path wherever you've got author for XP, and that'll create your ScenProc data. Now, this particular script uses a lot of, you can change any one of these, right? You can just right click and select your GUID, or what is it, graphical unit interface device, or whatever it's called, and you've got here, so you can select whatever you want. That guild doesn't exist, and I just did an error, didn't I? Yeah, see these numbers here refer to the guild that's inside Flight Simulator. That's why it came up red, and if it doesn't see it, it can't use it. But it should still compile. I'm going to see if it works. If not, then I'll restart the video and do another video. But once this is finished, I'll pause the video now. Once this is finished, I'll see if it works. It may not work because it uses this data, right, which is what it gets out of Flight Simulator. If that data doesn't exist, it may fail. Now, one of them, you can see select guild. I can't select guild because it can't find the SDK, so you'll have to install the SDK. And usually you select, there's names, the guild name, and those guild names will line up with these names. Okay. So I should have done a video with Flight Sim installed. I don't have enough room on the hard drive because 2020 used up so much data, so much. Where is it? Flight Sim. Yeah, it's here somewhere. Oh, it's in Steam. That's right. Why is it out of water like that? It's in Steam because I downloaded the Steam version of 2020. Steam apps, common, Flight Sim. Here we go. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't know how big it is. I can't remember. But it is very big. As I say, it took 12 hours to download it, and I've got a 100 megabit connection, so Steam is just slow when it comes to downloading crap. But from memory, I think it was about 130, 140 gigabytes or something or other. There was a small file that you download, and then there's all the updates that it downloads, and then it downloads the main program. But you can see it's up to 90 gigabytes, and my SSD has only got, oh, so it's 95 gigabyte, there you go. But that's still not, it's 95 gigabyte. And I didn't have 95 gigabyte free, so I had to get rid of Flight Simulator and Prepare 3D. So how are we going here? Has it finished yet? No, see, it's rejected. Oh, here we go, download successful. But you see, it waited 32 seconds, and that 32 seconds is not 32 seconds, it's probably about 3 or 4 minutes. So don't worry about what it says here. So it's going to do that one now. So where are we up to? Sorry if I'm swapping around a lot here, I just want to see where we're up to. So we don't download what we don't need. Also, I should have a shortcut up here, shouldn't I? Oh look, I have. Right. ScenProc. No, wrong one. There's the settings. OSM data. Top one. ScenProc. Right, it's doing number 3 now, so we've got 2 more of number 3. You can see how big they are, 112 meg. That would contain a lot of data, And the next one, because these now get bigger, so the next one will be about 100, maybe 150 megs, and the next one might be double that, 250 megs, something like that, or 300 megs. They tend to get bigger and bigger and bigger as they get further down. Sometimes they're smaller, but you can see 12 megs, 13 megs, 11 megs, 12 megs. That contains a lot of stuff. I don't want to open it up with a text editor. So we got 3031. So once it's finished, you can see that one's paused. And now we've got 16 seconds, which won't be 16 seconds. So I'll pause the video until this is finished, and then I'll show you the next step. By the way, I just unpaused it a couple of seconds ago. I paused it a couple of seconds ago. By the way, this program, this Ortho for XP, would be the best way to get your photo reel, because one is it downloads it properly, it puts it in the right order, like in your map, for instance. If you go down your map down here, where are we? That one there. Go to your map. It'll download everything in the right order. It'll combine it in the right order. The only thing it doesn't do is your blends properly. It'll find all your water. It won't do that just yet because it hasn't done it yet. If you go back to Explorer here and go back to this one, it'll do all your masks and it'll download your masks. I've got an example here, which, no, I haven't got an example, got rid of it. It'll download all your masks. It'll download all the mesh for you. You can see I've downloaded South Australia here, and this is the whole of South Australia. This is not a little bit. That's all your mesh files if you need them for later on, if you know how to work with that. And then you've got Queensland. That's the whole of Queensland. Right, there's all your mesh files. I've done a few there. So it does all your masks, it does all your mesh files. Don't have to worry about that. And masks, it does a good job on the masks. The ortho photos, I don't know if I've got anything. No, I haven't. I've deleted it. And then you've got all your providers, and these are all your providers for all the information. So you can see most of the countries are covered there, just not Australia, because, you know, Australia doesn't exist according to some people, but it's everything else. There's one here that just says global. I think it's global, or New Zealand, Netherlands, global. Here we go, global. And this is the information that it downloads. Now, this particular information here is the information for your download. So this is the ARC information. So if you want to use some of this information and put it into something like FS Earth Tiles, you can. Like, that's my map box one. So you just open it up with a net, and this is the my password that I use. Right, so you've got a token key. And with Mapbox, if you want Mapbox data, it is very good. It is better than Google Earth. It is better than ARC. It is better than Near Maps. It is better than. It's just really good, right? It's really, really good. But what you do is you register. It's free to register. You go to your website or your web area, and in there it says, "Do you want a token?" Yes, I want a token. They'll give you a free one that you can use everywhere. This is what that is. And then you can have a token that's specific to you. So you just hit select token, and it's good for 3 months. After that, you get another token, right? So you do that, and then you put your access in here, your access, and you leave it exactly the same as the way it's written. And then you just change your access here. It says access token, and then you'll get a PK number. So you just put it in here and continuously use this, but it's limited to some areas. It may not be doing this one correctly. Where are we? How are we going? Okay, so dealing with airports, right? So now it's okay. The OSM data has been rejected by that. Have we got this one? Yes, we have. Have we got all of them now? Let's go back. Let's have a look if we've got all of them. Right. So you can see it's 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, we got 4 3s, right? That's all we're caring about. So at this point, we don't need this program anymore, because that's now downloading the information that we don't need. So it says bon voila, or bon voy, whatever it is in French. So we don't need that. So that's the only data that we need. And actually got smaller, surprising about that. That's the data that we need. We don't need anything else. Now we use ScenProc. Now it says here guild is not valid, because I put a guild in here. Oh, here we go. I put this guild in here, right? So we don't worry about that. So okay, I'll just have to open my thing again. There are unsaved. Do you want to save? No. This one works. Open. Okay, that fixes it. And then I've just got to put this folder back in. So this one here, is it still in place? No, it isn't. Okay, got to get the foldering in. So that's this folder here that we want. Copy that, go back to your program, chuck it in there, right up to there. Oh, come on. Just hit Control V. Control V, that'll do it. Get rid of that folder because that one doesn't exist. Delete that. Get rid of that. Make sure the folder down the bottom exists. It says Adelaide, so I'm not going to use Adelaide. I'm just going to get rid of Adelaide. I've got texture by itself. See if the my scenery folder texture is in there. Anything in there? Yes, there is. 563. Delete them because you don't want to mix and match. So that'll delete that. Okay, so that was 500 items. Minimize that. So that's now correct. This is now correct. I don't know if it'll work without Flight Sim being installed, but we shall see what happens. I'm going to save this, and then you just hit run. Okay, it's still working, right? Because it knows this information. It probably won't work properly, and you can see it's downloaded 50 for that one, 900, 138 buildings there, 138 whatever. Could be trees, could be shrubs, could be plants, could be whatever. You don't know what it is because it doesn't tell you. 18,000 items in that one, 14,000 items in that one, 1,500 in that one, 200. So it won't be as big as that. It'll probably only be about 2,000 files. But my script, or this script that I've developed, this one will take about, I've got a slow machine, so on my machine it takes about an hour to do it. Could be faster on your, if you've got, you know, one of these new 9900s or 10900s where you've got an AMD, you know, Threadripper or something like that. It probably won't take long at all. It's the crunching power. My machine is pretty slow. I've only got a 10 core 20 thread processor, a Xeon processor. So as I say, it takes about an hour on here to do this. Some, you can see these little ones, there's no objects. These one kilobyte things, there's no objects in there. It's probably just a heading in there or a spacer in there, you know. So you can see nothing in those real small ones, right? Or it could be failing because it can't find Flight Simulator. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. As I say, I'll leave links to mine. You can download mine directly because, as you can see, it works. I'll leave also a link down there to the original, so you can compare the two if you want to. Then I'll leave a link. Oh, what else? What other links did one? I'll leave. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll leave a link to, well, ScenProc. Everyone knows where that is. So I don't need to leave a link to that. You can just Google ScenProc and you'll find it. FS Earth Tiles is another good program, but it's limited to 2 services, Google and Arc. Oh, it doesn't have Arc. Google and what's the other one? Bing. They're the only 2 you can do. And then SBuilder X. Well, you just Google that as well. SBuilder X is. It's got a few services in there, but you've got to keep updating it all the time, and that's a pain in the ass. And it's a very buggy program. I don't use it anymore because it's so buggy. You know, you do one minute little mistake, or you open the map up too many times, it'll just crash on you. So you have to do it all again. So anyway, that's it. That's doing the information. I'll leave the video there. If the video is informative to you at all, thumbs up please, and subscribe to the channel. I don't put a lot of videos out, but you know, from time to time I'll chuck one out there. You know, I've thought of videos with what tools really you should be using, and how to combine things and how to make things faster on your PC and Windows and so forth. But yeah, I'll chuck videos out there from time to time. But anyway, for now, thanks for watching. Sorry it's dragged on for about 30 minutes, but hopefully, you know, maybe you can get some autogen showing in your scenery. Okay, cheers for now. Have a good day. Flight Sim Devs signing off. Bye for now.